You are born in the shadow of wooden walls, in a house where the smell of decay and wax mixes with the smoke of the fire. The moment you open your eyes, faces surround you, old, wrinkled, stern, and you feel the weight of their expectations. There is no childhood joy here, no soft beds or warm embraces, only stone floors and the cold armor of your ancestors, keeping the memory of blood and glory. From your very first steps, you are taught discipline, order, and pain. Every sound, every rustle, every shadow is a lesson. Every strike of a stick across your back is a reminder that weakness is not forgiven here. Your hands are calloused from childhood, and your body grows accustomed to fatigue. Each morning begins with practice. Katana movements honed to automatism, breath synchronized with the rhythm of your heart, eyes learning to see every move of an opponent before it becomes a threat. You eat little, sleep less, but in every moment you learn patience, cruelty, and precision. As you grow older, you are allowed into the world beyond the home, but it is no softer than the walls that raised you. The villages and towns you walk through breathe fear and respect at once, for your shadow is a threat and your name a message. You witness wars you never chose, hear screams you will never forget, but most importantly, you learn to listen to silence. It tells more than the noise of battle. Within it lies the essence of every opponent, every weakness, every treacherous thought. You learn who is ready to die for honor and who only speaks of it, hiding cowardice behind loud words. Every day is a trial. Every day is a fight. You train in the forest, where the trees whisper and shadows dance under the sunlight, learning to move so that your body becomes an extension of your weapon, and your weapon an extension of your mind. Occasionally you encounter other samurai, and it is not friendship but rivalry. Every glance tests you, every movement evaluates you, every mistake is deadly, but you adapt. You learn to master yourself so completely that fear ceases to exist and pain becomes a tool. At night, when others sleep, you continue. Stones beneath your palms become familiar, the wind whispers the names of your enemies, and the moon illuminates the path you have chosen, though no one chose it for you. Your teachers are strict but fair. They never allow you to forget that a samurai's life is an endless cycle of training, battles, loyalty, and death. They teach that honor is more important than life, and mastery more valuable than regrets. You watch others endure, watch others fall, and know that their fall is a warning to you. Every trial makes you stronger, but also colder. Your heart learns not to cling, not to love too deeply, not to expect rescue. Your life is steel and blood, and no one has the right to mercy. You see death early, and it becomes your constant companion. In battle, when blade meets blade, when screams merge with the wind's howl, you understand that fear is a luxury you cannot afford. Your movements are swift, but not chaotic, precise, but not cruel without reason. You learn to read your opponent not with your eyes, but with your entire body. You understand that victory depends not only on strength, but on patience, observation, and the ability to wait for the moment when your strike becomes lethal. Sometimes your teachers leave you alone to see if you can endure solitude. You sit on the mountain slope, in cold and wind, contemplating the meaning of life, that death can come at any moment, that your body is merely a tool, and that your soul, if it exists, must be ready for eternal battle. You see the faces of people and notice that most fear not the blade, but the decision to be honest with themselves. They fear admitting weakness, fear admitting they are ordinary, and this makes them vulnerable. You have long learned to accept your weakness, because it is yours, and every day you fight it, making yourself better, making yourself the blade that will not waver. Time passes, and you become part of history. People begin to whisper about your victories, your discipline, how you appear and vanish like a shadow that never rests. But you know it is only illusion. The true life of a samurai is not glory, not titles, but endless self-overcoming, continuing from dawn to dawn, from practice to practice, from battle to battle. You understand that death may be closer than you think, but it does not frighten you. Fear left long ago, leaving room for cold clarity. And as you stand on the field, blade in hand, feeling the weight of your heritage and the gaze of your ancestors, you know your life is a path, and this path has no end. Every movement, every breath, every drop of sweat and blood is part of who you have become and who you will never cease to be. In this unchanging silence before the storm, you see, hear, and understand everything. You are a samurai, and this is your entire life. You walk along a road where every step echoes in your mind. The trees along the path do more than stand, they watch, just as the eyes of your elder teachers watch you, never fully gone, lingering in memory and in the gestures you perform automatically. You are no longer a boy, yet you do not feel fully a man. You feel like a tool, made for one purpose: to be a blade, an extension of will, steel tempered not only in fire, but in blood and patience. People cross your path, and you see their weaknesses. Some tremble in fear before you. Others try to appear stronger than they are. You understand them instantly. Words are unnecessary. Words belong to the weak, and you no longer use them. You speak only with movements, with your gaze, with a silent presence that can kill as easily as a blade. In the villages you pass, children hide behind their mothers, and the elders watch with respect, but also with unease. They know your life is not theirs, your honor is not theirs, and you live by laws they cannot comprehend. You walk alone. Sometimes at night, you make camp under the open sky, yet even there you do not sleep fully. Your eyes see the darkness as others cannot see the light. Every rustle of leaves, every sound of a nocturnal animal, every whisper of the wind becomes part of your world. You train even when your body demands rest. Your hand grips the sword without fatigue. Your body repeats movements etched into memory forever. At times it feels as if you become part of the very earth itself. The stones beneath your feet, the air around you, the trees and the water are not mere scenery, but instruments shaping your will, forging your mind. Death is ever near, and sometimes you meet its eyes, cold, merciless, looking directly into your soul, but you do not tremble. You look back and see your reflection. That encounter makes you stronger. Teachers visit you in dreams. Their faces and words do not leave you, even at night. They repeat lessons, testing whether you are ready to become who you must be. Sometimes you scream in your sleep, yet awaken without fear, knowing the scream was only a test. You fight the people destiny places in your path, not for glory, not for wealth, but for the path itself. Every opponent is a mirror of your strength. Every strike you deflect, every trap you evade, brings you closer to perfection. You understand that a samurai's life is endless practice, endless self-testing, and you accept it with cold composure. In this world, there are no friends, only temporary allies, each tested by time and circumstance. You see betrayal, and it does not surprise you. You know human nature is weaker than the blade, and if the blade is not firm, it will break before its time. Sometimes you sit on a cliff's edge, watching the rivers below. Silence surrounds you, deep as life itself. The water flows and never returns, and you understand that so too your actions, your decisions, your movements create a current that cannot be stopped. Occasionally, on the road, you meet people whose fates intertwine with yours. Their fear, their hopes, their dreams, all tests of your discipline. You do not become attached, but you learn to observe, understand, and anticipate. In battle, you move as if the entire world slows. Moments stretch into eternity, and every breath of your opponent is your chance. You do not rush, do not hurry. Your body knows when to strike, and your mind knows when to pause. The life of a samurai is the silence before the storm, a storm that always comes unexpectedly, and to meet it face to face, that is true mastery. You confront the war sweeping across your land. People call for arms, yet you understand that war is not accident. It is a lesson that tests not only the body but the spirit. You see fear take hold of the crowd, panic breaking discipline, and you know, if you are not precise, not composed, your death will come swiftly. But you have long accepted this law. Every day, every morning, every step is preparation. You understand that a samurai's life is not merely swordsmanship, but mastery over oneself, over thought, over fear, over the body. You encounter elders who look at you and see what you conceal. They whisper the names of great samurai of the past, and you listen, for every sound is a lesson. Sometimes you hear stories of betrayal, defeat, and great victories, teaching you to look beyond your own life. You continue your journey through forests, cities, and fields. You feel the wind on your skin, the rain cutting your face, the snow clinging to your armor. All of this is your trial. Your movements are fluid yet precise, your hand firm, your gaze sharp. You watch your opponents and see their thoughts. You see when they doubt, when they tire, when they are ready to surrender. But do not. You move to exploit every weakness, every chance, every moment. At night, you see the moon and know it illuminates the path not just for you, but for those who will follow. You sense time differently. It is measured not by hours or days, but by heartbeats, steps, breaths, the breath of the blade. Each day becomes a mirror of all past days, and every step brings you closer to the understanding that a samurai's life is endless refinement. You do not seek peace. Peace is weakness. You do not seek friendship. Friendship is distraction. You seek only mastery, clarity, the path that carries you forward, no matter what. And when you stand on the field after battle, among the fallen and the victors, amid the screams and the silence, you know, your path continues. It matters not how many lives pass beside you, how many wars begin and end, how many names are forgotten. Your path is your life, and your life alone. You walk along a trail, and the ground beneath your feet is familiar, yet each step carries new trials. The wind brings the scent of smoke and salt, reminding you of battles that have left marks not only on your body, but on your soul. You are long past the boy who was taught patience, discipline, and fearlessness. Your hands are scarred, your shoulders accustomed to the weight of armor, your eyes seeing the world through the lens of precision and caution. You know that death walks beside you, not because you fear it, but because you respect its inevitability. You move through villages, across fields, along mountain paths, and people recognize you by your step, your gaze, the silence that accompanies your presence. Some bow, some hide, and some watch with quiet respect. You understand that your name is not glory to them, but a symbol of inevitability, an order that cannot be disputed. In every tree, every stone, every gust of wind, you read signs. A world that seems random actually obeys the laws you understood in childhood, the laws of observation, patience, and foresight. You encounter enemies again and again, and each fight is not merely a test of skill, but a test of the soul. You learn not only to fight, but to understand your opponent, to read their thoughts and fears, to anticipate movements, and to determine outcomes not only with strength, but with strategy, with the ability to stay one step ahead. Occasionally, your path crosses with allies, but you know, true loyalty rarely lasts. People are weaker than the sword, and often their will breaks before yours. You accept this calmly, for your path is that of the blade, moving on its own, beyond human emotions and weaknesses. At night, when the moon reflects in calm water, you sit on a stone and observe your reflection. Your face has changed, hardened, your gaze sharp, your hands steady. You see in yourself all the lessons given by your teachers, all battles, all mistakes, all victories. You understand that a samurai's true mastery is not in strength or speed, but in the ability to master oneself, one's emotions, one's mind, and one's fear. You hear whispers from the past, the voices of teachers, the whispers of those who have fallen, the whispers of those waiting in the shadows, who tested you in childhood and test you still. You understand that these voices are not punishment, but guidance, instructions leading you forward. Occasionally, on your path, you meet those who think they can challenge you. Their pride, ambition, and fear become your tools. You observe, wait, evaluate, and when the moment comes, you act with a precision beyond words. The blade becomes an extension of your hand, your gaze an extension of your mind, your movement an extension of your will. Every victory brings neither joy nor fear. It merely confirms your understanding of the path, a path without end. You know that tomorrow will bring battle again, trials again, the need once more to be strong, precise, and true to yourself. Time transforms. It does not flow. It compresses into moments that determine fate. You see the weak succumb to panic, the proud break, and the world continue on without understanding that true strength lies not outside, but within. Sometimes you think of the future, of what will come after you, of those who will follow your path. But you quickly release these thoughts. The future is not your concern. Your concern is the moment. Your concern is mastery. Your concern is the path. You understand that a samurai's life is an endless cycle, a cycle of training, battles, patience, pain, victories, and defeats. And in this cycle, there is no room for weakness, doubt, or mercy. You see the elders who remember you from youth, and they smile quietly, knowing you have fulfilled what you promised yourself. You see children watching you with both curiosity and fear, and you understand that they learn not only from your actions, but from what others do not do. You see nature, which seems eternal, and you understand that your existence is but a moment in its endless story. But this moment is entirely yours. Every dawn brings new trials. Every sunset, a time for reflection. You learn to value the moments of silence, when the blade rests, when the body relaxes, when thoughts flow freely. But you know these moments are only preparation for the next storm, the next strike, the next test. And when the day comes when your strength is tested as never before, when enemies are stronger than ever, and fate seems against you, you stand unmoving, gathering all you have learned over years, decades, your entire life. Your movements are flawless, your mind focused, your heart calm. In this battle, there is no room for mistakes, no room for fear, no room for weakness. You are a master, forged in the fire of trials, and now your steel is unshakable. After the battle, you stand in silence. There is no joy, no sorrow, only clarity. You know you have done all you could and that your path continues. Your wounds remind you of life, but do not weaken your will. You understand that every day is a chance to be better, stronger, clearer. You see the sunset painting the land red, and in this silence, you realize you have lived the life of a samurai. Not for glory, not for wealth, not for recognition, only for the path you chose, for mastery, for honesty with yourself. You rise, adjust your armor, take up your sword, and move forward once more, for the way of the samurai is endless motion, endless practice, endless life, and as you walk, you know that you were, are, and will be a samurai, and that is your entire life.